Hey, hello everyone, and I know that I have a huge number of gymnasts on my channel who are just starting to do rhythmic gymnastics, or are already doing it, but still don't know what each gymnast should have. And in this video I'm going to tell you about all the things that you should have. And if I forget about something, then be sure to write about it in the comments, so that those who are looking for useful information under this video will find everything they need. Well, be sure to subscribe to the channel, pause the video right now, and check if you have a subscribe button at the bottom. And be sure to put your thumbs up, it will be nice for me. And as one taxi driver told me recently, everyone is now working for likes, including myself. I have divided this video into several parts. We will talk about what each gymnast needs for training, for competitions, and separately we will talk about apparatus. The first thing without which any gymnast will definitely not be able to survive is the training wear. I chose a larger size for myself. It may not necessarily be in this format, but I love these shorts when they are with underpants. It will be cool if they are beautiful and combined. Ideally, there will be a replacement kit so that it can be washed. You can train also in leggings when it's cold. By the way, in tight ones it is better to see how the muscle stands, and many coaches complain about loose clothing. For older gymnasts, we definitely need tops that support the chest, or just for training in the heat. I remember there was a fashion where there were multicolored tops and black or white t-shirts were worn underneath, and it looked very interesting. One more thing to warm up, I call it a sauna suit. They have both overalls and pants separately. I have a dream since gymnastics to buy myself one, just to walk in it. I don't know where, I just want to. This is in principle an optional thing, but it's very cool to warm up in it, especially in winter if you do not live in the south. Simple leotards are good for younger gymnasts. Coaches love them so much when girls do choreography and such, or to train. Although I think many people notice that the older the girls are, the freer their wear becomes. If you are going to a competition, or you have a cold gym in which you can and should warm up so that the heat does not go away, then you need to perform, then you need to buy a sports suit. You can also go to competitions in it. The track suit may not necessarily be so warm. For summer weather it can be made out of cotton or something lighter, but this one is even pleasant to touch. We finish with the clothes. All this naturally needs to be put in a bag or a briefcase. It is desirably that it will be roomy, so that not only things but also objects can fit in, so that they are not worn separately. Something that any gymnast cannot do without are socks. Someone trains with bare legs, but for beginner girls it is better to wear socks, so as not to peel the skin, and so it is much more comfortable and warmer. The socks will warm. Coaches love white socks, but in theory they can be of any color. Of course, if they are white, they always look good, although they need to be washed more often and changed more often. Personally, I prefer white socks, or without anything. Knee pads are used for tumbling or crawling on the knees. Gymnastics is a sport on the carpet, so you need to protect your knees. They will save you. I have here foam rubber ones with synthetics, but there are other options such as cotton, but this will be much stronger. Another thing without which you probably won't be allowed into the gym is the half toes or half shoes. Their manufacturers also make them as different as possible in leather, fabric, generally like socks with sequins, with lining. Some people use different shoes for different coatings, and also so that they slide. They are moistened with water and so they don't slip. They have a soft pad here. It is so cute. Then there is a thing that will be more useful to you for competitions, but it will also be useful for trainings, so that the child does not touch their face with dirty hands, but wipes it off with a towel. It is there for the face and for the hands, because when you sweat at the competition, your hands begin to slide on the apparatus. And here it is also says, I love gymnastics, which is super cute. The next thing, which is also from warmth, is leggings. I have a version with a cutout on heel, but they also exist without such a cutout. With a heel, it is convenient because the leggings will not slip. They can be longer or shorter. The next workout piece is the elastic band for stretching. There are ordinary and there are numbers. I think when you start to train they will explain to you what they are for and still ask you to buy them, because if this was not the case before, not very often they carry out some kind of exercises with them. Different stretches, and this in additional gives an extra load on the muscles. And in the pictures, some look very cool. especially if they're so bright. The things that are most likely to be needed as you get older are the belts for your back. There are also different kind of them, from different fabrics, different in the fastening system. They are needed in fact to keep your back warm and when you bend a lot so it does not cool down. But this is already for older gymnasts, because the back is always warm in the childhood. Another important piece is the elastic bandages. It is very cool that now they're multicolored. When I tried, they were only beige. Bandages are needed in order to prevent injuries. If you know that on some element you can injure yourself a joint, or if you have a post-traumatic period, then also fix it, so that there is no new injury. The things that help for training. Weights are needed to make it easier to jump. That is in fact, when you start training with them and then take them off, it feels like you fly like a bird. And a balance cushion for training balance. If the coach does not force you to train with such things, then you can work out the balance yourself and find the core at home in order to battle stand in the balances. They're big, they're smaller, and there are even more kinds. It depends on your leg, it depends on what kind of foot you have. There are a lot of key. The smallest but most pleasant things that every gymnast should have is a diary and all sorts of things in the purse. There are a lot of keychains. I chose one for myself. You can guess in the comments who owns this leotard. Diaries can be made from notebooks, and there are special diaries for gymnasts where everything is already lined up. Well, let's move on to the next session. What we need to perform. The first thing every gymnast needs in a competition, of course, is a suit. Here you focus purely on your taste, your wallet, and what you can afford, as well as your age, because for each age certain styles are better suited. For example, for very young gymnasts to choose, it is better to choose something simpler. And for those who already perform for seniors, of course, it's better to have something with more rhinestones. Ideally, if the suit is for each type, but this is also not necessary at all. You can perform in one suit for several years with all the apparatus. But this is basically like fashion. Here you just want to change wear as a new dress for every girl. There are also different for the price. You can sew to order, buy a ready-made one, buy a used one. It is okay to buy someone's wear too. Therefore, first of all, I would count on my wallet and see what you can afford, and then choose from what is in stores or sew to order. A bodysuit is required under a suit. This is a transparent underwear. I would call it that. It can be like a suit or divided into panties and a top. Most often it matches the color of the body, so that you cannot see some things which should not be visible. In fact, this is a mini body cover, like underwear. A necessary piece is a cover for a suit. In principle, a cover is needed for everything, but especially for a leotard, because most often they're expensive and there are rhinestones. Rain is harmful for them, especially if painted with paint, and in general. Who knows how a suit will react to wet weather, snow, or if it falls on the mat. Another thing that has recently become popular is hair jewelry. In fact, this is the same suit, but it is attached to a band. Also, you will definitely need discs for performances or a flash drive in which your music is recorded for competitions and trainings. Everything for the hairstyle, elastic bands, mesh, hairpins. There are also different with and without the rhinestones. And makeup. But here I think it's better to go to your mother, who will help you with the selection of makeup and make you up. Perhaps even at the first competition with her own cosmetics. But for the first performances you don't need a lot of makeup. It should be something light, a little eyes, cheeks, eyebrows. Well, let's move on to a separate topic. This is the apparatus. In rhythmic gymnastics there are only 5 apparatus: a rope, hoop, ball, claps, and a ribbon. The rope can be completely different in color. It is important here that there are no metal and plastic tips. It should be a purely fabric rope. Since this is a new rope, there are no knots here yet. But in theory, they stand on the center of the rope and see that the rope is about to the armpits. They try to cut the rope at both ends, since it is 2.5 to 3 meters standard, so that the centering does not shift. Knots can be hemmed to keep them from coming loose. The next item in the studio is a huge hoop. I have it right away with a cover. Most often it is a white hoop, which is then wrapped around. There are also different types of winding, and the hoop itself is most often white, but there is colored ones too. The size of the hoop depends on your height, and it is usually about 60 to 90 meters. One of the most beautiful items is claps. I have them with rhinestones. Each gymnast must have 2 of them. Length on average from 40 to 50 centimeters. These are 45. They can be plastic and rubber or combined. They can also be wrapped like a hoop if you choose not so beautiful initially or change your suit. There are smaller claps for children. One of my favorite items is the ball. And again, it is brilliant. There is also a huge number of colors, manufacturers who have all this beauty. The ball weighs around 400 grams. Look at the sensations. The ball should stick to your hands, but there are ones which on the contrary do not stick, and the ball needs a special pan. For juniors there are smaller balls, but I think that those are also suitable. They can simply be inflated a little less. This one is 18.5 centimeters in diameter. Well, the last thing is the ribbon. The tape has two parts, the stick and the ribbon itself. The ribbon runs from 4 to 6 meters, 4 meters for gymnasts performing in the third category and under, 5 meters for gymnasts who perform in first, second and juniors, and 6 meters are used by gymnasts performing for seniors. You can buy it in plain colors, you can paint it yourself or you can buy it originally painted. And the stick comes immediately in a case. It can also be multicolored. You can buy it either in the color of the ribbon or the regular one with a black tip and a white stick. And the stick also has a carabiner. It can be either metal or fabric. Well, on this my video comes to an end. I express my deep gratitude to Art Blesk store, which allowed me to take pictures within the walls of the store. And they allowed me to touch all the things and tell you what a gymnast should have. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, put your thumbs up and write in the comments if you like this video. Because if you like them, I will shoot them more often. And see you in the next video. Remember that I love you all, and for now, goodbye. The video was translated and dubbed by Alexandra Sinica.